going down and the price of cryptocurrency going down and so on. Like, what do you need to have in your reserves, and what is good risk management as far as all that's concerned? I didn't really do a whole ton of risk management on the last cycle. That's why I ended up in a pickle like I did, along with a few other reasons. But I think, you know, we can just perfect that strategy a little bit more and be a little bit better off for the next time it comes around. Yes, Tactics says Master holds Bitcoin 447,000 Bitcoin at an average price of 62,000. Yeah, I mean that definitely seems to have worked. And then Shoe Monster said Dems ruined crypto. Hopeful we regular guys can be profitably mining soon again. And that's you know, I think one of the bullish things I heard on Inauguration Day from Donald Trump was he was going to get energy costs under control. And I think that it wasn't a single factor this previous cycle. So if we go 2 cycles ago and you get into 2018 and the price of crypto is coming down, at least your power didn't skyrocket at the same time. So home miners could still mine feasibly, and like smaller players could still mine from a power perspective. And when it started coming back, you know, mining was really already pretty decently profitable at this point in the cycle last time because of the cost of energy. Whereas this time, you know, it's a lot more difficult even right now. Why I was giving you the strategies, you know, surrounding when to buy and sell and your risk management for covering your power bill and all that earlier is because, you know, we are still having to play that game of making sure we have enough to cover power and all of that. It's a very difficult and tricky situation. So, and I think right now, I did say this, like my personal strategy right now, as far as things are concerned, is I'm stacking hash rate, total hash rate over efficiency right now. And the way I'm playing out this cycle the next time is when we hit peak, I'm liquidating everything and buying the next most efficient thing as soon as it comes out. So that's kind of my strategy. Because I know you said you mine your efficient equipment, and I think that's fair. But I don't think buying efficient equipment over buying the most hash rate is necessarily the strategy for growth as I see it. Because right now, the strategy for growth is get as much hash rate as possible so that it compounds as quickly as possible, right? Once you're overpaying for the power bill at this point, which we already are on most older equipment, not all the way down to like S17s or anything like that yet. I presume we do get to that point, but once you're into that profitable range, like let's say like an S19 Pro, I think is right within that green range, depending on your power cost and all that. I think if you look at like an average hosting fees of like 8.5 cents a kilowatt hour or whatever, you could get it hosted, buy one of those. They're barely green, but if you have a whole bunch of them, when they get more and more green, you've just compounded it, as opposed to just having a single miner where you're already covering that cost. You know, that's kind of my strategy. I'm cool with everybody else's strategy if they want to share them, but that's kind of the way I've been looking at it. All right, so I was notified by Tourniquet Rules that BlocX has moved to proof of stake. Now, obviously, I had just given them props for moving to ASIC resistance the other day, and unfortunately, basically right afterwards or right around that same time on Monday, let's see when this post was. I don't even think this post was Monday. Let's see, January 21st. Yeah, so this was yesterday that they officially announced it. And they had started talking about it in Discord on Monday. And they said, yes, you heard it right. BlocX 2.0 is on the way. And it says why proof of stake Gridbox and where is proof of work. And it said, we are moving forward and becoming EVM based. Validator nodes will be the main ones securing the blockchain, so we'll be prioritizing these. Our product Gridbox will drive its growth with a portion of block rewards allocated there. That's not all. Running a validator node will also come with a big advantage. These nodes can be offered in the future as storage rental to our marketplace, allowing users to combine staking and node renting with Gridbox. So they don't cover this directly, which is really interesting. Obviously, they announce here that they're moving to proof of stake, but they don't really, say exactly why, just that it's going to be most beneficial for their validator nodes. They're also changing, their emissions outputs. I've always had problems with cryptocurrencies that do this, because if you set your emissions schedule, within your white paper and then you change it, you've effectively changed what people were signing up to participate in the first place. So I don't like that, but I guess there's not a lot of control over it, and validator nodes, their proof of stake nodes were basically, I think outvoting the GPU miners anyways. But you'll be able to add our mainnet on MetaMask, which is why they went EVM based. So, if you have a MetaMask wallet, you can add that in. And then they will have smart contracts. So save all data on the blockchain, launch tokens, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really special here as far as those things are concerned. Now, they are changing master nodes to validator nodes. So master nodes will be converting over to validator nodes. It says, don't worry, we already have some master node partners supporting this shift. So if you don't wish to set up your own, you'll be able to host with them. At least that's what they're saying. And I don't know. I don't pay attention too much to proof of stake validators, master nodes, all that sort of thing anymore. I don't know the specific positives and negatives to master node versus validator nodes. I'd like to hear about those more, and maybe we can do some more research on it. But I am a proof of work guy, so at the same time, I'm like, I have a lot to keep up in my head already. Do I need to figure out what a validator node advantage over a master node is? I'm not so sure, but says they are introducing a validator node lockup period for unstaking. While the traditional lockup period on proof of stake networks is 30 days, they are going to lock you up for 15 days. And I guess that's one of the advantages, is that, validator nodes will impact essentially the supply of the token, which can drive the price up. And master nodes, I believe, at least their master nodes were, X11 fork. I believe those ones from Dash, you could basically unstake at any given time. And so it doesn't have this 15-day lockup, which affects, daily emissions or daily liquidity. There we go. Transaction fee burning and coin locking is what they're also doing. So they're doing a lot of things that, we've seen Ethereum do. We've seen a lot of other projects do. They start doing these reduction of supply moves to essentially drive the price of the cryptocurrency up after the early participants have built up big enough bags to not be impacted. I don't know if this is the way you actually get more participants, because if you're, 50% is being burned forever and 50% will be locked for future reward allocation. And that's for transaction fees. So let me know what you guys think. I always see these as, what it is, which is supply manipulation to drive the price up. That's what I read when I read these types of things. Am I showing a bias here? Probably. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll move that over there. So the reward schedule will be 70% validator nodes, proof of stake, 20% Gridbox hosts. Now, this is where GPU miners can still participate, is on their Gridbox hosting side of things, from my understanding. So they are going to be moving forward with that, which means that you can still get, 20% on Gridbox by offering your GPU to Gridbox for them to process AI, etc. I think there's a lot of different things that they can process, or for rentals, whatever it may be. I haven't downloaded or utilized Gridbox yet. If you have, let me know. I want to check it out, obviously when these changes happen. I don't think these changes have had an actual release date announcement yet, so we'll have to wait and see as far as that's concerned. They also have 5% treasury and marketing support. So there you go, or for the treasury and marketing support. So 5% developer support and 5% treasury. So, more and more, it's just extremely common for all of these projects to have some sort of developer fund, some sort of treasury. All these sorts of things are very common now in projects. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are fully intended to do something nefarious anymore. Whereas, previously, if you did have a pre-mine on a cryptocurrency, it was almost guaranteed that you're going to get rug pulled. That was just like I was showing you guys, the current strategy of rug pullers on Solana, how they're doing it with the little step ups. That is essentially what, a pre-mine meant previously. Now it doesn't always mean that. It still is, something that makes people uneasy in these projects, and I think rightfully so. Now, with the longevity of BlocX so far, it appears that they are here to stay and to actually work on their project. And to be fair, their app. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.